been said that when the light shines the brightest, the collar sews the tightest. With this and only 2 more races remaining on the Season 3 schedule, that is the case for our race drivers today. From the Roval at Charlotte, this is the Global SimRacing channel's Round 8 coverage of the spectacular extravaganza known as the Big C MX-5 Challenge. When you look at raw points, the defending champion Robert Hartley holds the lead, but thanks to the mystical powers of drop rounds after the abracadabra, Racine Vazuik sits atop. Throw in a Roval that would let my 96-year-old mother-in-law hang on to the back of the lead train, and you've got the sword of Damocles situation with big points ripe for the picking and rotten apples possible with every bump track. See all the simulated MX-5 action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on GSRC. A Tar Heel State welcome and hello to the GTR Countdown to Green. Over the next few minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stacks and facts you'll need to be up to date on the Big C's MX-5 challenge that will immediately follow. As the name already suggests, this segment is sponsored by GTR Racing Simulators, which are currently used as training aids for professional race car drivers, but you too can learn to ace that braking, sharpen those corners, and shave off those vital seconds. Whether you're a professional race driver or a gamer looking for a more immersive way to play GTR has your back. Get started today at www, don't forget the W's, GTRsimulator.com. Way up in the booth to bring you our Word's Eye view, it's yours truly, Bill Soussan, joined by GSRC's own prodigal son, returning to GSRC after years away exploring the Amazon, a founding member of the company, Giancarlo Lenzi. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders, our director, Sean Ambrose, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. All right, John, today we've got a big track for little cars.
Thanks, Soup. Yep, big track for little cars located here in Concord, North Carolina. It's a 2.3 mile, 3.67 kilometer track with 17 turns, 12 right, 5 left. The Charlotte Roval, as it's come to be called, is really kind of a hybrid circuit, featuring the high banked turns of legendary Charlotte Quad Oval, as well as twisting, turning infield sections. And if that weren't enough, they also have the backstretch chicane to test the precision of these drivers. Now, if you are new to this track, or if you're an old hat and you're just coming back like I am, this track has changed. Before we had some dirt sections and all that, and it was much different than what we've got now. It's got a repave, more paint on the infield sections, and that back chicane. It's a course that throws a variety of challenges at the drivers, and just to give you the rundown, we'll now toss you over to our virtual tour of Charlotte Motor Speedway.
All right, we're in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Charlotte. Heartburn turn can be taken much faster than you'd expect. Just glance the curb, mash the throttle back down, and let it drift as close to the exit wall as you dare. Immediately, you've got to swing it through 2, which can be a bit marginal. And once again, you have no chance to rest because you've got to switch sides for the entry into 3. This corner and 4 are effectively one long arc, so it can be extremely tough to take the car right to the edge. Make sure and use up all the track up to the grass and past the painted lines, and finally you get a short breather. You'll have to get on the binder shortly after 5 and then get the car to rotate into the very blind turn 6. There's a few different lines you can use here, but personally I prefer to hug the wall to the right on the exit. This opens up turn 7, making for an easier setup with 8. This is by far the most important turn on the track, with it guiding you back onto the oval portion. Any hesitation will come back to bite you. Now, while the slipstream will create some side-by-side battles, I highly recommend you get back to single file by the time you get to the chicane on the backstretch. This can be taken flat out, but it's thread-the-needle type stuff. A couple of inches wrong on either side and the car will get bounced into the wall by those nasty curbs. Through NASCAR 3 and 4, it's pretty simple. Hold the car low and keep smooth inputs. Finally, the last chicane challenges those who dare be the latest of the late breakers. But you can hit the curb shockingly hard and the car can take it. Get the throttle back down and hopefully you've now finished a lap around Charlotte.
Carly Simon sang "Nobody Does It Better." She must have had Joe Peak in mind as he talks and takes the viewers around another road course, this time the Charlotte Roval. let me take a lap around the driver standings. We'll do this right now. We talked about it in the opening, and there he is. You see him right up there. Rasim Fazouhi sits up by 14 points. Now, the most important number on this overlay, look at Robert Hartley. By the droplet, he's got that 15. That is 15 points that he's not allowed to score. He's forced to drop those points. If you were doing raw points, he'd be a point up on Fazouhi. But since we are forced to drop 2 rounds, Robert can't score that 15 points. That's why he is 14 points behind. That's the magic of the drop rounds. The Italian driver, Marcelo Pajan, was in the lead. He's now dropped down to third, 24 points behind the leader. Brandon Hawkins sits down there almost, what would that be, 24 points almost back. And then you have Juan Fernandez, 59, working on 60 points behind all the other drivers. One last thing to note, you got 2 Canadians in there with an Argentinian, an Italian, and an Argentine, I guess would be the proper nomenclature there, and 1 American as Robert Hartley. All right, we're always picking up new viewers on GSRC because this is a very popular series. Let's go over to Giancarlo to talk about the event details.
As you guys know, this race, or if you're just tuning in, it's round 8 of 10. We're racing here on Charlotte, as we said earlier. It's 40 minutes with 1 pit stop. The setups are fixed, so they're all baseline iRacing. There's an incident cap to make sure that this race goes clean, because this is a very high SOF. Points from 1st to 15th.
There you have it. One thing that we didn't talk about, it's not shown on that overlay, is there apparently are 2 fast repairs on this one. Now, fast repairs for the most part, boy, if you have to go in for a pit stop, it'll ruin your day. But if you can time your fast repair right, with 1 stop mandatory here today, if you get that injury, if your car gets hurt right before your pit window opens, maybe come in and get a fresh car. You won't be hurt too bad. Boy, my goodness, they're working on qualifying right now. In the GSRC Commentator's Handbook, they talk about always build drama into the broadcast. Well, I'll be honest with you, folks. There's not a lot of drama going on here with qualifying. If you qualify first, if you qualify 20th, yeah, you're going to be up front, right, Gio?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with this quad, with the Roval here, is you've got these long stretches where you're just going to be drafting off the guy in front of you. Coming into turn 1, that's kind of where you want to do a little hard braking. It's an ideal area to actually set up the pass for the next lap.
In fact, with a pit stop involved, sometimes it's not even good to be up in the front because, well, if you know your Tour de France, if you're the lead bicyclist there, you're doing all the work, you're burning all the energy, you're burning all the fuel if you're doing it up there. So sometimes it's better to be second or third. Right now, Marcelo Pajan, the Italian driver, is at the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that you want to do is bide your time like a villain. You know, just sit back, be calculated, look for those openings, and calculate when you need to take those openings. You'll see a lot of drivers where it's a cold, calculated race where they're never really taking the lead and they're just kind of holding back, especially on tracks like the Roval.
Some familiar names up in front right now: Marcelo Pajan, Rasim Fazouhi, of course, and Robert Hartley. The name that I'm not familiar with, and Hartley's on a hot one right now. We're looking at him as he sits at the top. He's about, take a quick look, about 1/10 of a second off of what Pajan has put up. One of the drivers that I'm not familiar with, we'll look at him in a minute, is Jari Latari in the 765. He's sitting 4th. Don't know a lot about him.
That's a name that's don't know too much about him, but I've definitely seen the name even during my time several years ago in iRacing. Somebody who's very fast. Like I said, you know, he's quick, but he's calculated. It looks like he was trying to get a double draft on his qualifying run, but wasn't quite able to get it through. But he is sitting 4th right now in qualifying times. Not far off from Robert Hartley.
Yeah, one of the interesting aspects of this series is open qualifying. I kind of like it. Get them all out there at the same time, but on a Roval like this, it really does make that qualifying time a bit misleading because you don't really know if he did it himself or maybe he tucked behind one of the fast guys.
Yeah, with open qualifyings, I mean, geez, you've got double drafts, you've got triple drafts, you got bump drafting that you can do, and you really got to be careful with the bump drafts because if you get any sort of contact, even if it's a 0x, it can invalidate your qualifying time.
Talk about Jari Latari. I sure hope he's an old-time sim racer who started his career on an Atari. That would be really good, wouldn't it?
Jari Latari, the Atari.
Atari. That's it.
What other close battles we got for qualifying times? I'm looking down the field. A lot of 125s, really close 125s. We got the 666 of Maxime Detilly and Juan Manuel Fernandez at 085. And they're both running a 125, 169, same exact time. So we got some close qualifying times here. And these guys are killing it.
We take a look at Hogner putting in that time. Yeah. Just about got a couple minutes left here to go in qualifying. Big field here today. 41 drivers have put in qualifying times. One driver who put in a practice time but is yet to put in a qualifying time is series organizer Clifford Eben down there. He's out on track. Can we take a look at him real quick, Director? Car number 55. Looks like he is following. Okay, we're going to stay on here as we look here at Sager trying to put in a good time. Now, he's found himself a good guy to follow. Well, a second ago, he was following Fuzui, and you sure enough, he's still back there trying to stay on the back of Fuzui, see if Fuzui can move him up the ladder.
Oh, he's moving and he's wheeling and dealing there.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart move. Here we go as they work through the high bank section. Coming up to the line.
It looks like they're getting traffic, but he's not affected by it too much. Oh, looks like he didn't get a time in, so he must have got a 1X or something somewhere.
Or maybe that was his outlap, I'm not sure. But he still got another time. Plenty of time to get up there. I talked about the draft, and it doesn't really matter where he qualified. Well, within reason, I don't know if you want to be 43rd.
Yeah, there we go. We got Maxine kind of pulling off. And now we're looking at Donovan Strauss.
Sitting 16th overall, looking to move up a little bit.
Oh, a little bit of a...
The Florida driver smacks it into the wall.
Probably not a real fun time there on that last corner. That's burning a lot of time for qualifying.
All right, take another look at Clifford here. See what he can do. Working his way around the slower car of Sabella. Don't forget about Fuzui, who is sitting second up there, right ahead of him now. So both of these times are going to be important. Let's see what Racine can do and then what Clifford. Clifford's right behind him. This should be a pretty good time for both of these guys. Through this final chicane, love the placement of this. Come out of here. And there's, Racine keeps it off the wall. He doesn't move up.
Now be pulled into 125, 103, so not quite enough. But we are talking about hundredths of a second here.
But when we take a look at Eben, he does shoot up into 11th. So there you have it. The procrastinator of the field, waiting for the very end to shoot himself up.
He was sandbagging is what he was doing.
Yeah,
he was like, I'm going to let everybody else come in, and then I'm going to place.
He knows how to get himself a little screen time.
Now we got a little less than 20 seconds left in the lap.
With qualifying just wrapping up here a bit, I want to talk about one of the sponsors that makes this possible. You want to enhance your sim racing experience, but don't feel like spending hours doing it? Sim Racing Studios creates plug and race sim racing accessories and software to enhance your experience without any DIY effort. Go to simracingstudio.com for more information. Man, that sounds like a good place to go.
That sounds like an excellent deal. I mean, with sim racing kind of blowing up lately, with the esports phenomenon just really bringing a lot of these sports to the forefront, this is stuff that's really going to help enhance your driver experience, your feeling of actually doing well. This stuff it will help you get to the top. I mean, it's like having a new seat. It's something
Indeed.
You want.
Indeed, it is. Coming across, you talk about, I think of the movie Jerry Maguire where they said you had me at a low. This one had me at without any DIY effort. Yeah,
There
that
you
sounds
go.
like my kind of product, baby.
Is any man of the household will be like, I don't have to do any effort and I can get that? Yes, I will.
That sounds like it. 44 drivers have all put in qualifying times now. A large field. And with qualifying just about done in a large grid and a standing start, let's get there a little bit early so we can get everybody a little attention and make sure that Gio, Carlo, and I get our GSRC commentators bonus for getting through the entire field before we go green. On the front row is going to be Marcelo Pajan, the Italian driver, flanked by Racine Fazui. Robert Hartley, the defending champion, sits in third. Outside of him, it is Jari Latari. Anthony Burrows is in fifth, inside of Brandon Hawkins. Seventh and eighth, that's Nicholas Short and Yoni Hager. And ninth and 10th, that's Stephen Vanothril, a veteran of the series with JDT, Jaume Torres. He's quick, he's in 10th. Gio, it's all you, baby.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting for the graphics. And we got Jose Soria filling in on 11th, followed by Juan Manuel Fernandez, Maxim Tilly on row 7, Clifford Eben, Jonas Seeger, followed by Chase Dempfly, Tyler Maxton, Yara Koslaw on row 9, and Donovan Strauss and Mark Brightman on 10.
In the blackjack position, it's Hassan Kadari. Nick Carty in the double duck spot. Fernando Signoretto in the 23rd position inside of Austin Johnson. RJ let's get this one right. Smotherman in the 25th position. Jeff Lowell outside of him. Nico Avaromi in the 26th spot. Justin Goulet in 27th. Fabio Uliman in 28th. The last two spots I'm going to talk about, Alex Moss and Stefan Grovel. I might have went too far, didn't I, there? Sorry.
No, that's all right. So as he said, we got Stefan Grovel on row 16, Christopher Taylor on to follow up on him, Giovanni Licitano in row 17 at 33rd, and Johnny Slabiak at 34th.
Here's the fun one. Go for it, Giancarlo.
Absadik, I'm not going to try it. Soup, why don't you go ahead? You got it better.
Absadik Budu Bute. I come on that one. Budu Bakabe. I don't know. We'll take a shot. Keep going. We're going to not get our bonus.
So we got Absadik on row 18, Fabian Ponce, Connor Lane, and we are actually live. We are go on this race.
No bonus for us. Gather at the chicken steak, cover in the cows. The horses are out of the barn. It's led by the Italian stallion, Marcelo Pajan, out in front. Racine Fazui right behind him. Robert Hartley in third. Rounding out your top five. Jari Latari, boy, they are well behaved. A little bit of a break back to fifth with Anthony Burrows.
Not seeing much going on. There's no crashing, no bumping, no grinding. So everybody's keeping their pace, keeping good and keeping clean.
Everybody's single file. A little bit of a battle back for 15th. Zabala side by side with Sager and Strauss, but they get that sorted out. Of course, we saw Strauss put it in the wall in qualifying. He's okay now. Single file, very, very clean first lap so far. Cross your fingers, we're about halfway through. The leaders now work their way out onto the banked oval section. The rest of the field, my goodness, as far as I can tell, I think everybody got through clean. Congratulations to all the drivers. Those were named on the grid and those that didn't make it. Well done, boys.
I'm going ahead and watching Clifford Eben right now, just in the back of the field. He is running right behind Maxim. Or not Maxim. Maxime. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was actually watching Tyler Maxim and Clifford Eben. And Tyler just really holding on to the backside there. It's bump drafting.
The entire field now squirts their way through the chicane. The first lap is done. Cross your fingers. I think they all got there. Everything happening behind your leader. That is still the
Marcello.
It's still Pajan, as I can see. Yeah. No, look at this. When it wasn't past, we missed it. Racine Fazui got around him. And now he starts to open up about 8th car lengths.
Oh, he's got quite the lead there. And
Quick
Pajan,
look at,
followed by Hartley.
just to update you, Fuzui made the pass on the oval section. Basic pass, no problem there. My goodness, though, look at this as he begins to open up a bit of a gap. I don't know how far the draft goes back, but it's getting close to losing Fajan.
We got Hartley moving off to the side, trying to break that draft a little bit for Latari. And Latari just trying to hold on, trying to keep up with these guys.
I'm going to go with his first name of Yari. He's doing really well. Yari Latari right in the mix. Now there's a little battle going on for second. Moving to the outside. That is Hartley. He tucks back in. Fajan's, as they get through the chicane. The interval up to the leader, about a half, just a tick over a half second. You can see it on the tower on your left.
So now in this series, we have a required pit. So all these positions can be changed up according to strategy. So what we're seeing here early on is just mostly, we want to make sure everybody keeps their nose clean and doesn't do too much ruffling of feathers.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if Fuzui, as we look at that, if he's doing all the work, might have a longer pit stop. Not sure if Fajan is getting any benefit from being in the draft. Some of the guys that are going to maybe have a shorter stop, Hartley, Latari, Burrows back there, all going to train. Let's see.
We just had a little bit of a bump from Latari. He tapped the wall a little bit. That cost him some time. And it looks like Anthony Burrows moves on through.
We'll take a look at this as they entered the oval. It actually happened before the oval. And then watch how it really, does he stay off the wall here? I think he does, but he loses all of his momentum.
And he just lost another position now. If we go back live, he was coming through the chicane and they were just battling and he had to pull it back. And now he's lost another position.
Brandon Hawkins.
Yeah,
Brandon Hawkins got into his left hind corner there and kind of got him a little bit squirrely. That's been some rough racing for those guys as they get through.
And Latari now is just like saying, no more people coming through. He made his stand, came through that chicane and said,
let's look at Hogner real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Hogner is loose. He was racing in, I think, about ninth position at the time. He got bumped, and I really think his steering got hurt. Watch this as he fights with the car after the contact. He's on the inside. Look at him fight the car. I don't know if that's a tank slapper or if just the steering was damaged.
I think he was just trying to steering. It's what it looked like. He might have got tapped. Oh yeah. Take a look at that dent up on the up front right.
Oh yes, that'll slow you down. So he is dropping points, dropping positions quickly. Meanwhile, it's a second back to this P2 battle as Fuzui continues to race away. Hartley has got to be saying, Marcelo, let's go. We got to get going here. We're losing touch with the leaders.
Hey, I'm not sure why they're not kind of bump drafting, trying to get up there on those straights. Right now, they're just trying to battle it out. And really, do they want to do that?
Hartley dives underneath, gets the position. Maybe that saves them a little bit of time, as now they're knocked off at about 0.8 of a second back.
Racine actually got a little bit loose on that last corner, coming across the start. Might have lost him some momentum, but I don't know, Hartley doesn't look like he's able to capitalize on it. And in third, we got Anthony Burrows and Nicholas O'Short following him. So where did Pajan fall back to?
Pajan's still in now back into fifth spot.
Oh, and it looks like Pajan is now, he just got overtaken by Brandon Hawken in the number 99.
Yep. Take a look at this replay as you see the sun going down. Yeah, that car just not feeling right.
And
so
Pajan,
Hawkins, go ahead.
Pajan is getting overtaken again by Jari Latari, coming back through the field. So I think he's got some sort of damage or something is going on. Oh, he's actually pitting.
Yeah, this is probably maybe at the front of the window. I just don't think so. We'll see. He can get, there are spare cars, so we talked about that. Maybe come in, get that car fixed, and get out there and maybe not have to make another pit stop. Now, little by little, since Hartley lost Pajan, he's been able to run down Fuzui.
Man,
these guys sit 1-2 on the track and 1-2 in the point.
Just watching them go over those curbs is so anxiety-ridden. I'm just thinking about the times I'm behind that wheel and having to hop that curb. It's just...
Now, a nice battle going on back here. It really is you're looking at Evan, who's making his way up. He's being challenged by Fernandez, but he's hoping to get up to the back of Torres. Now, Yami Torres, a really good driver, racing in 8th. You see that yellow car right there, who's right behind Van Opstroll, another veteran of this series. Some big
they are
names
having an awesome four-way battle going on here.
They have lost Mike Brightman, has no chance. So it is a 4-car battle as they work through the bus stop.
Yami getting overtake? Nope, not quite. He's got the draft.
And a little bit of a bump draft there from Evan on the back of Torres, trying to get him to go.
It looks like Torres has some front right damage, so that might be affecting a bit of his aero and speed.
Big news. This is an early peel, late reveal situation. Jari Latari is in for a stop. He was on the comeback. He was running these guys down. He's going to come in and see if he can get that damage to his right rear, his right front fixed. And then we'll see. It is. I see it magically go away. He's got a spare car. He goes up on the right sides. Keep an eye on him. He'll be well down the order. But when this thing's all settled down, look for him to be up near the front.
We got a lead change. Not a lead change, but Clifford Eben go ahead and overtook Torres. But still, now they're starting to build a gap between Steven Van Opstroll.
Eben qualified in 14th, is up 6 spots now, racing in 8th. These 4 guys battle it out.
We got Anthony Burrows in P4, who's being closely followed by Brandon Hawken in the number 99 car.
Burrows qualified 6th, Hawkins right, 5th, Hawkins right behind him in 6th. They've been racing together this entire race. They've got about a half seconds to get up to O'Short. You can see O'Short going through the chicane ahead of these guys. All this going on behind Fuzui, who sits up in front.
An excellent set of races. A lot of good racers in this field. We're looking at a 3,500 plus SOF. And if you're not familiar with an SOF, strength of field is what we like to call that in the iRacing world. That determines kind of your racing quality between the different drivers.
Riding on board now with Evan, right behind Van Opstroll. I think Clifford probably make this pass coming back out here onto the banks part of the track. Just want to tell you, Latari, that's the guy to watch. He's out in 20th now, all by himself. Do not want to forget about him. Also, Pajan is racing in 19th position, just ahead of him. Those are 2 guys you got to keep an eye on as we look at this battle up here with Evan.
Now, I wonder if that was a calculated risk or if it's actually something that Pajan had to deal with, because it looked like early on in the race he was starting to fall back, losing position.
Yeah, I think both Pajan and Latari said, we're coming in, get this damage fixed before we lose any more time. But both of those guys are fast enough to be a threat. Especially with what I like to call this stepping stone situation. Even though Fuzui and Hartley are out in front, they're only 2.6 seconds ahead of Short.
And something we still have to remember, too, is that Hartley still has 15 points of drop. So he won't be able to gain much for this race, but at least he's not going to be losing anything.
Right.
What he can do is prevent the other drivers, such as Fuzui or Pajan, from gaining on him.
And if you want to put on your tinfoil hat conspiracy noggin thing going on there.
Oh, absolutely.
If
day of the
Hartley
week.
If Hartley and Fuzui were to get together, since Hartley does have that like drop insurance, he would definitely come out better of it.
Whoa. We got Fuzui coming up on.
We look at that battle. I can report that Hawken just got around short, moving him up into third.
It looks like Torres is starting to fall back in that midfield battle.
Oh, we got to go to Pajan. He just got it. We talked about Latari and Pajan. Sure enough, they get together.
Oh, no.
Pajan now races in 31st, but he was racing about 17th at the time.
19.
It was happening. Let's see if we can see these guys. If this is going to happen right there it is, right there.
Oh.
He goes into the cones. We'll look at it from the Italian driver's point of view. Does he get
like
loose in front of the fin?
No, he overbrakes, I think, and maybe just didn't carry as much momentum, and then he gets accidentally pit maneuver. So Jagner just a little too close coming into that corner.
The accidental pit maneuver. I like that one.
Wait, was that Latari?
Yeah, that was Latari. It was
sorry, I didn't mean to say Hagner. I thought that was. Oh. And it looks like Latari actually gets black flagged for avoidable contact with the number 27 of Pajan. So and it's his first offense for the race. And it's looking like the drivers are starting to have a bit of a row in the chat, so we'll have to keep an eye on.
Let's go in 10th position. I think Clifford Evan got a slowdown penalty. He has now fallen way off the guys that he was racing with.
I wonder if he just got a little loose. A little loose in the corner. Let's see if I can find something back there.
I'm not sure what happened to him, but all of a sudden he is in trouble. While you're looking for that, I'm going to take a quick look at 14th position. This is a fun battle. Signoretto up in front, being chased by Johnson, Carty, and Jeff Lovell. And right ahead of these guys, you want a big mover. Started in 30 seconds, now racing in 13th. Look at this. I'm talking about Christopher Taylor. He's looking for another position as he works, kind of manhandles Smotherman. They get it sorted out.
There's a little bit of damage on Smotherman's back bumper, but that's probably just from a little pushing. Oh, and he's going to get by on the Roval just at the start of it, so that's going to give Smotherman a bit of the draft to maybe overtake after the chicane.
Probably not the worst thing that Smotherman could do is get back in behind there and see if you can go. And they're going to swap one more time.
Looks like Taylor. Oh, they're going to come together a little bit. Oh, that's not good. Now they got
That's not the racing line you want.
Now they're both going to get penalties for passing through. They'll probably get a delay.
That lets Signoretto go by. Says, thank you very much, boys. You're going to play like that. I'll take the spot. Carty gets it as well. Yeah.
We got Lovell just behind them.
Some good racing going on in the mid-pack.
You know, some of my favorite races have been in the mid-pack.
Yep.
I mean, you get guys in the front of the pack, and they just start pulling these. And it just becomes a little more boring. So if you see us start covering more of the mid-pack, this is why, guys. We got some exciting racing in the mid-pack.
And there you can see the overtake as Johnson gets on the inside of Lovell. Lovell fighting back. You see them side by side behind the cars up front. Sun beginning to set here in North Carolina. Love that drone cam there. That's a good one. That's fun. Let's go back up front. I think this is all going to come down to pit stop times as Fazui is doing all the work, Hartley sitting back, just resting in second, saving fuel. Watch is going to be faster when they make their stops.
Fazui still putting down those 124 times for his lap, so it's almost like he's still thinking he's in qualifying.
Now, they just got around the lap car of Giovanni Listano. That's a little bit of a stepping stone there. There's two drivers. It's Listano and Eppering in a battle for 25th positions. First car's one lap down. It is a mile back to Hagner and O'Short, who race in third and fourth. There's your two lapped cars. My timing and scoring has crashed, but I don't think those guys have made stops, or maybe they have. They have not. They're out there, so that just shows you the pace that Fazui and Hartley are coming in. More lap traffic to deal with. Liam Sheen does a good job. Yep. Liam Sheen and Peter Vostrel do a good job of staying out of the way. We look at fourth position as our leaders come up on lap traffic. How about the lap traffic car of Marcelo Pajan? Didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah,
we thought that we see Pajan racing with Fazui and Hartley. We just didn't think that Pajan would be a lap down.
It's awesome to watch these guys race, and most of them keeping fairly clean. We're seeing a bit of contact here and there, a lot of small taps, accidental bump drafts, and bumper mess ups, but it's for the most part not a lot of major incidents. Looks like we got Latari out now.
Now there are no team championships or team racing in the Big C Championship, but there certainly are friends out there. You can find a buddy that you know to work with you and help you. 20 minutes to go. When will our leaders come in? And will they take tires? You can take 2 tires in the time that it takes to fuel.
Now, we just had Hartley and Fazui pass by Marcelo Pajan. Oh, no, that is unfortunate. We just had lap traffic just pull out in front of Pajan. That was Johnny Slabiak in the number 007 car.
And that is even though there are laps down, that's not even one for a position, because Pajan is more than 1 lap down. We'll take a look at this one though. Very, very clean race.
Looks like Pajan is just slowing down. I'm not really sure what he's doing or what's going on. Maybe he got like
well, being 2 laps down, maybe he's just trying to, I don't know, trying to race by himself if he can.
I don't know, it looks like he might have just kind of given up on the race. I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's letting people just pass by him.
You want some fun? Let's go mid-pack. Carty, Taylor, Lovell.
Like Lovell is trying to stay out of that kind of that bump and grind up there by Carty and Lovell, or Taylor and Carty. Just hoping to hang on, keep his nose clean. Looks like he's gonna get the draft if Carty doesn't pull in. He's gonna allow him pass by, probably get it through the chicane and then sweep around before the last chicane.
They work through there. Much better racing line than we saw the other drivers take before. Let's follow these guys all the way around to the start-finish line, see who gets credit with leading Oh, not going to work. I think it's pit stop time.
Yeah, we got all three. We got Lovell, Taylor, and Carty pulling into the pit stop.
Director, there's a driver that we would be remiss if we did not put on. Car number 194, currently in 6th position, Alex Moss. Started in 30th, racing in 6th, and did it oh so quietly. Well done, Alex. You got a long way to go to get up to Taurus, about 7.7 seconds, but who knows? Back to the front. They pass the pit entrance. Fuzui continues to lead Hartley. I've been doing a lot of MX-5 races in my GSRC career, and I'm telling you, if Robert Hartley doesn't exit pit lane ahead of Fuzui, then something is fishy in Denmark. Well, I guess in this case it would be Canada.
That's a little far from Denmark, Soup.
It is. Of course, Fuzui, the Canadian driver, Hartley racing. This is his home track, racing out of Carolina. 4th position, Van Opsrel, with Taurus right behind him. Now, O'Short used to be in this mix. Where?
It might have been that O'Short went and got his pit already.
No, he's in 3rd.
Oh, no. Nope. He did not take his pit.
He's a man on an island out there. He is O'Short 7 seconds behind Hartley and 16 seconds ahead of Van Opsrel. My timing and scoring has gone down, Director. Can you tell me who is leading? Who is the car leading of all the cars that have pitted? Hawken, all right. Sitting in 7th. Hawken has made his stop, and he sits in 7th. And he is 35 seconds behind the leaders. And I'm going to give me... All right, here they come.
Let's see where they can actually come out. Now, we got 35 seconds between them and Hawken.
I wore myself a straw fedora just in case I had to say this, but I'm going to eat my hat if Hartley doesn't get out of here in front of Fuzui. Hartley up on the tires. There he goes.
0.03 of a second. Fuzui with the faster pit.
He's out.
Hartley not able to overtake him on that pit.
And I asked my wife to bring me the tartar sauce because that's what I need for my Straffa's fedora here.
So that puts us
Fuzui is out from front.
So our current leaders, as soon as these pit cycles for O'Short, Ostol, and Torres run through, will be Fuzui, Hartley, and Hawken. That'll be your top 3 running out after the pit stop's cleared.
Yeah, when I talked about O'Short, I knew he had a partner, and I thought it was Van Opsrel and Torres, but I was incorrect. It was Hawken. So when O'Short comes in, it's going to be interesting to see where he files out in relationship to Hawken, who is currently in, what would that be, 6th position right now, but he's going to vulture a few of those spots when some of the guys in front of him make their stops like Van Opsrel and Torres.
Trying to look back through the field to see if we have any other battles, and it looks like we got some close ones just by some duos here. I'm looking at Nick Carty and Fernando Signoretto, who are running just in a pack of 2. It looks, pack of 4 now.
Carty's got Signoretto in front of him there, and Lovell in that mix.
Going too wide through the corner. It's a long sweeping corner, but he's going to be on the outside coming into the next one. So he's going to slot in just behind Lovell. And that's the number 85 of Arvil Lomi.
And if I'll go with the timing and scoring that lives between my ears, I believe all these drivers still need to make their stop.
Nope, they've got their stop taken care of.
Like I wanted to say, the timing and scoring between my ears, they've all made their stop. They're good to go from here. I misread my brain.
Nick Carty just kind of falling back a little bit, trying to pull in through that draft.
Leader coming in. So O'Short making a stop. As we stay on board with this battle, because this is fun. No reason to look at a pit stop. O'Short comes in. Torres is going to come around. It's got to be about time for him to make his stop.
Was Torres with Carty a little while back? He's running with them. Where did he slot in? Oh, he's running second right now without a pit. Okay.
So as they come in, Fazui and Hartley get their spot. Now I want to watch O'Short when he comes out in relationship to Hawken. Hawken going across the start-finish line now. O'Short is rolling. He's going to get crushed. Hawken is going to be all by himself in third, I think, when this is all said and done.
Whoa! We just got really loose coming out of the pit. O'Short on the number 24 car. Luckily, there was not anybody close to him except for Anthony Burrows, but just a little too far back.
He gets out in fourth, right ahead of Burrows. Hey, we've had the pass for the lead while that was going on. Hartley has made his move, and I'll tell you why. Fazui has got to be worried about fuel. There's no way that he can stay in front and not have to worry about it. He's got to go back and save. Our director has found it on screen, and sure enough, it was just a basic little pass coming out of the final chicane.
Yep, he was able to get that draft. A draft is a powerful thing, folks.
It is indeed, and I'm not all that sure if Racim is all that disappointed right now.
Oh, so it looked like
second.
Racim actually tapped the wall just a little bit.
Saw that.
Lost him in his momentum.
Now they've completed a whole nother lap since then. Fazui has been watching Hartley for that lap.
Fazui not. I don't think he's really upset about it too much. We've got a little less than 10 minutes now in the rest of the race, so he's probably going to bide his time, maybe make the same kind of maneuver, and hopefully not tap the wall again.
So, with just about 10 minutes to go, Director, I'm going to take you through the top 10. We'll do it kind of fast. Up front, you're looking at those two. Hartley being chased by Fazui. These are the class of the field all season, and it's the class of the race today. We thought it'd be a draft race. We thought a big train. Not the case. There's only two of them. We got to drop back 7 seconds to get to Brandon Hawken, who is all by himself in third. He's got almost 4 seconds back to O'Short. O'Short races in fourth, who had that bad exit out of pit lane. He's got just about maybe 10 car lengths to Anthony Burrows. All these guys so far are racing just about where they qualified. We go back to sixth position. He started in 12th. Let's cut that in half. We're looking at Juan Manuel Fernandez. We go back another 6 seconds, back to another driver with 3 names, Jaume Jamis Torres. He's being hounded by Steven Van Opstroll. In fact, let's stay on this a bit. As Van Opstroll looks to make the pass, no, he'll wait a bit. Let's round out to your top 10. Jaroslav Kabula back in 9th again. Long way to go to get up to Van Opstroll. Then finally, a driver who's knocked off 10 positions, Mark Brightman, 20th to 10th. And I'll go one more because I'd be remiss if I didn't. Alex Moss in 11th with a great race, started in 30th. There you have your top 11.
I didn't want to break in too much, but we actually had a car up on the chicane, on the second to last chicane of Austin Johnson. I'm not sure what had happened there, but he was sitting there for quite a while.
Oh, and Torres, while that's going on, Torres has had an issue as well.
So we see Austin just kind of coming through the chicane. It hits, oh my goodness, hits the rumble strips just at the wrong angle, and that really upset his car and just sent him right into the tire. Don't get too aggressive, folks. That's what can happen. Let's see what happens on the onboarding. Wow.
And I just want to, as we go back to the front, racing in 7th position at the time was Jaume Torres. Coming out of the chicane, going onto the oval. He lost it, and he nosedived into the wall. So Torres's day is, well, it's over. So what was going to be a top 10 finish will be a well down the order finish for him.
That is sad to
As
hear.
we race up front, look at this. Hartley begins to open it up.
So what happened there, Soup, was actually Fuzui was coming in through the last chicane, and there was some lap traffic, and he just got a little bit too aggressive, a little slow on the brakes, and just could not keep his momentum. He was about to tap the wall, and he just decided to give it up a little.
You know, that final chicane has been Fuzui's Achilles heel, as now he has fallen back almost a second back behind our leader. We'll see if he's able to stay on him. We go to this battle in 13th position.
You got Lovell, Cardi, Signoretto, and Arvalami.
A slowdown penalty for Lovell, or a just get out of the way as Cardi flies by him. Lovell just pulled over and said, go.
We're watching on board with Cardi, just kind of not keeping his momentum on that last corner, but closing the gap a little bit on the brakes.
They race for 14th and 15th position.
He's got Lovell just hot on his heels.
There are only 17 cars on the lead lap. While we watch this, I can just report audibly that Fuzui has caught back up to Hartley and is now just a car length back. We'll monitor that. You can see the interval. There we are. We're on it right now. With just 6.5 minutes of racing to go. All right, Giancarlo, I'm going to go to you. I don't think you can afford to be in second coming out of the final chicane. You got to lead into that chicane going to the checker flag, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if he's going to be taking this at any time, it's going to be the second to last lap where he's going to make his move. If we don't see anything before that, he's resigned himself to just taking second. Effectively, he's still first because Hartley's not going to gain that 15 point.
That's right. All he really needs to do is kind of just stay close. With Hartley being 14 points back in the standings, he needs to not only finish in front of Fuzui, but he needs Fuzui to have a few cars between him and Hartley.
Really?
Let's go ahead and stay on the leaders here for a minute. Go ahead.
All he needs to do is finish 15.
Yeah, there you go. Let's watch now as they come through the chicane. This has really been Fuzui's weak spot all race long. You'll just see that there's not a lot of time out of here before you get to the finish line. Right there. I mean, it happens so quick. You actually have to be leading, and the finish line is really going into the chicane if you want to be real about it. 5 minutes of racing to go. 1:24 for a lap time. I'm not very good at math. 4 laps, maybe? I get a yes from the director. I got lucky on that one. Let's go to 4th. Check in on this O'Short and Burrows battle. Remember, O'Short came out in front of him at pit lane, and that's how they've been holding. And again, I think Burrows doing basically what Fuzui is, just waiting for the time to make the pass. That car behind him, that's Purpleding. He is 1 lap now.
Yeah, he's not racing for position with them.
All right, we go back up front again. Fuzui car lead back. Is he just pestering Hartley? Hartley, the defending champion. Fuzui has really been the dominant driver this season. Although despite Hartley's points in the raw points, Fuzui has been good. Fuzui's also picked up a few penalty points.
Just to remind everybody, Fuzui is at 127 points in the driver's standings, and Hartley's at -14. And Pajan is at -24, but unfortunately, Pajan, I think his race is DNF.
This and 2 more races to go. When we get down to that final race and the point standings are close, you may look back at how this race turned out to see, oh, that's where the championship was decided. With apologies. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
With apologies to the rest of the drivers in the field, we'll try to cut through, but these final 3.5 minutes, we're going to focus a lot of the attention up front. These are the top drivers in the points, and they're nose to tail on track right now. Back onto the oval. Now, this is a place, if Fuzui wants it, He can take it.
He's on the third to last lap. Is it third to last?
2.5 to go. I worry about fuel. I just don't think he wants to be out front. I would not be surprised to see him sputter across the line. Hartley, there is nobody smarter about fuel strategy than Robert Hartley.
They just have to make sure they don't hit those curbs like Johnson did earlier and get set into orbit.
Boy, I tell you, a draft track like this, and these two guys have just been spanking the rest of the field.
Look how close he closes that gap under braking on that last chicane.
Okay, I don't think there's going to be any passing during this technical section. So let's go back and look at O'Short and Burrows for a minute, see what's going on there. O'Short has opened it up a little bit. They go into the first corner now.
Burrows 5 tenths back. Trying to hang on. Doesn't look like he's really trying to get close on the technical section. Might be kind of angling. Oh. We had O'Short just go off a little bit.
And that lets Burrows get right up behind him. There are really, and the cars that are on the lead lap, there are really 3 battles that we'll watch. Let's go back to the leaders right now, because you never know when Fazoui's going to say, this is the time to go.
But will he? The question is, does he need to? Does he want? Some drivers, even though they've got the points, that they don't need to stay back, will still be aggressive and take the position just to kind of slap, rub it in, be like, hey, I got it. You didn't get it.
Again, as they get the white flag at the line, the worst thing I want to do is chicken a little of this. The sky is falling. Fazoui has fuel issues. But the last thing Fazoui needs is to run out of fuel trying for the win and end up finishing 10th. He's much better off just sitting back there, take second if there is an issue. We are on the final lap. We will follow these guys across the line, then we'll jump back and look at O'Short and Burrows, and then there's one more battle between Evan and Moss. We'll look at a battle to get into the top 10. Right now, though, all our attention is on the top drivers in the points, the top drivers on the track. Robert Hartley, a veteran of this car, racing out of Carolina. This is home cooking for him. Fazoui, and there's the pass! They bump! They tap each other. They're going to continue to keep racing. Fazoui's going to lose a lot of momentum. That was an interesting place to make the pass. Why not when you do it on the oval section? I think that sign that was a fait accompli. Now, is he too far back? 0.7 of a second. He cannot get it under 7. Now it ticks a little tick under 0.7 of a second. He's got to come, and he's got to come in a hurry. Through the bus stop. The interval now, 6.65. He's got to hurry. He's running out of track. He's running out of tarmac. Bob Hartley able to fend off the kamikaze dive bomb from Fazoui. He works through the final chicane. Nothing between him and the checkered flag of the lap car of Listano. He gets across our winner. Round number 8 goes to Hartley. Let's go back to O'Short and Burrows. O'Short is first to the chicane. Burrows is trying all he can. He's not going to get there. O'Short gets fourth. Let's go back to Evan and Moss. Moss is in front of Evan, but Evan has the draft. This is where I thought Fazoui could have made the pass. Giancarlo right here. I don't know why he tried it in that technical section. Up. Oh, my. Bouncing up on the curves was Moss. He's losing momentum. Here comes Clifford. The Midwest driver has him in sight. The Iberian Peninsula driver is being
He's got the inside, but is it going to be enough?
They touch.
A little bit of a tap. Oh, he's going to drive. He's going to get a drive
up. I don't think that position is going to stand for Moss.
We will have to check with the stewards how that plays out.
I don't think iRacing is going to let Moss have this. Cardi and Lovell, almost the next to the last cars on the lead lap. Let's see who gets this one. Lovell in the position.
I don't think he does not have it unless he can get him under braking, which he's a little too far back to.
Lap car in front, but I don't think it's going to matter. Cardi comes across in 14th. Lovell gets 15th. The last car on the lead lap is Signoretto. The one we're going to keep an eye on is Moss and Evan. Moss has scored in 10th, Evan in 11th. I think when this is all settled down, I think iRacing is going to flip that around because I think Moss cut the corner. We'll see how. As that's been said, we're going to go to break. Don't go far. We'll see you in a little while. Welcome back to GSRC's coverage of the Big C MX-5 Challenge and the minus 273 post-race show. Hey, whether it's on a real track or a virtual track, minus 273 has one goal in mind: to produce the best racing gloves to get the job done. With unmatched comfort, durability, and style, their gloves will leave your old ones in the dust. Find out how they can help you by visiting minus273.biz. We look at the slow motion incident right now. This is what we're calling the turning point of the race, presented by Turn Racing. This is the battle for the lead between Robert Hartley and Racine Fazui. They get together. And after that was done, Giancarlo, there was no way for Fazui to get back up to Hartley.
I don't think he needed to. I mean, it would have been nice. I'm not really sure why Fazui was on that inside so far. Going back and looking, it kind of looked like Hartley just broke. He did. Going back through his previous laps, it didn't look like he needed to brake that hard unless he was looking to give the position to Fazui. And he might have thought Fazui was further on the inside and could get by. So there just might have been some miscommunication, misreading of each other on what was going to happen there, and that's what can happen. You just get a little bit of bump. Luckily, it didn't end the race. They didn't get a DNF, and they were able to continue.
And after that happened, there was no way for Fazui to merge the gap back up to the lead. You'll be able to merge the gap, though, between sim sports and motorsports with Turn Racing. Turn carries a wide variety of steering wheels to suit any and all of your needs. From advanced sim racing wheels to practical street wheels, they will surely have something for you. Check them out at turnracing.com. And that was our Turn Racing turning point presented by Turn Racing. Here is our finishing order. Robert Hartley gets the win over Fazui. He's going to close the gap ever so small. Talk about merging the gap. He's going to merge the gap in the points lead by a little, but Fazui's second place is going to keep him still ahead when you take into account drop racing. A real quiet race for Brandon Hawken in third. Nicholas O'Short was in that battle with Anthony Burrows. Burrows had a great run through the field. O'Short gets the best of that battle. Juan Manuel Fernandez gets sixth position. Stephen Van Opstel behind him. Then you have Jaroslav Sabala in the 8th spot. Mark Brightman in 9th. And sure enough, notice that we see Clifford Eben in 10th, even though it was Moss who finished across the line first. I believe there's a slowdown penalty. Let's see what the next graphic shows us, where we see where Moss has scored. And this one will be all you, Giancarlo.
We've got Alex Moss at 16th. We got Christopher Taylor at 11th. Nico Arvalami on 12th. I'm sorry. Are you talking about the scoring or the race result?
No, you got it right there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I lost my place a little bit. I was kind of getting distracted. So we got 13th of Nicky Carty, 14th of Jeff Lovell, who had some great races between him and Fernando Signoretto, who followed him at 15th. Alex Moss on 16th. Yoni Hagner at 17th. Jeffrey Vandervoort on 18th. Simon Erpfeld at 19th. Erpelding, sorry about that. And Prem on 20th.
And just to follow up on the point we were making there, Clifford Everett got 10th. Moss was 10th across the line. He got scored the last car on the lead lap. We go back to the drivers who round out the rest of the field in the maker stuff in the blackjack position. It's Peter Vostro, and then it's Giovanni Listano in the double duck position. Fabian Ponce in the 23rd position, followed by Yelme Torres with Jonas Sager after him. Austin Johnson in the 26th position. Liam Sheen, R.J. Smotherman. We saw him in a battle early. He'll have to settle for 28th. All these drivers several laps down. Johnny Slaviak in the 29th spot, and in 30th is the Italian driver. He qualified on the pole. He will not get points because they only score down to 15th. I'm talking about Marcello Pajan. Giancarlo, you get the rest of the field.
Following up Marcello Pajan, we have Fabio Guillem. Sorry about that. And then we got Yari Lotari, who finished 18 laps down, who accidentally got black flagged during the race because of some avoidable contact. Hisham Kadiri, Tyler Maxon, Donovan Strauss, Stefan Gravel, Alvaro Vasquez, Connor Lane, Maxine Detilly, and the 41 of Aiden DeKemp at 40th.
Oh, you're going to stop at 40th? Okay. I'll go.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is...
No. We have Jose Soria in 41st. And I get this last one here.
You get this one.
Austin Dick Bute. We're going to work on that one. I promise if they give me the call to do this one again, that's going to be fun to call. Chase Stempfley in the 43rd position and Jeffrey Boulay in 44th. Okay, we do have interviews to do, and I get the honor of talking with our race winner, Robert Hartley. Okay, Bob, we've done this many times. You were in second for most of the first part of the race and in the lead for most of the second part of the race.
Yeah, that was a tough race. Racine is one of the fastest out there for sure. I was following him around the first half, trying to save a little fuel. And then after the pits, he made a little mistake and he tried to save a little fuel, I think, and got the race in there at the end. And I was expecting a move, just not where he made it. And we made contact, and it kind of
Yeah,
hurt
you,
it. It hurt his
yeah.
run, and I got the win.
We got to get you in the GSRC commentators booth because that's the exact same thought that Giancarlo and I both had. Was we were expecting the move, but why there? I mean, if it's a successful move there, then it just puts you in position when we get back out on the oval, right?
Yeah, I think he talked to me after the race and said he was having a little problem with his pedals right there when that happened, but it was a good hard race for sure. I'm sweating like crazy.
We'll get you out of here on this one. Were you surprised to have him beat you out of pit lane? Because I honestly I have a hat that I'm going to need to cook up and put some flavoring on because I was sure you were going to be first on pit lane.
I'm scared to run out of fuel, so I took what I knew I needed, and he had to be really close, cutting it real close, but it was still good.
Yeah, I think
At least I
Soup
was
was
there with
actually
him.
worried about that during the race on whether or not Fuzui was actually going to run out.
Yeah, I know he had to be close because I was kind of close, but I felt like I took enough.
Now,
Hey,
I
well,
do have a
ahead.
question for Hartley, if you don't mind, Soup.
No.
Hartley, you had on that last lap, you knew that he was going to make a move. Going back through your previous laps, it didn't look like you had broke as much as you did when you guys made contact. Was that something where you were trying to let him through? And maybe just kind of come back and follow him through the Roval to come back into the front?
No, I knew I had to get a good run through that little right-hander there because I needed a little gap once we got to the straightaway, so I was kind of arcing it a little more than usual. But I figured he'd get to run down the straightaway and try to beat me, maybe out at a bus stop, but it didn't work that way.
Gotcha. All right, Hartley, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win. That will take him, well, not really 14 points. I guess you don't really score those points because of the drop race. But congratulations nonetheless. A hard-fought race and very, very entertaining. So thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'd like to say thanks to all Big C sponsors and to y'all for doing the broadcast for.
All right, we say goodbye to our race winner. We're going to bring in Rasim Fazui here, who was out in front for the first half of the race, out in front after the pit stops. Rasim, congratulations on second. Give Rasim one more time. I'll tell you what, we'll give him one more second. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, there
Yep.
we got him. Congratulations on your second place finish. Let's go right to the turning point of the race there, where you made the stab at the lead on the technical section.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I just saw his interview, and I read him just like it was supposed to. I knew he was trying to get a run going wide because we had different lines to the section. He goes wide usually, and I go more tighter on the inside, and I break a bit later. But my speed screws off a little bit at the at the exit. So the thing is, I knew he was gonna try to get a larger run because the draft on the back on the NASCAR 1-2 and the rest of the track is so high that I thought to myself, if he dips out on exit, if he dips out wide on entry, and I just place my car, then I can, get a run. And from that run, he's gonna have to like swerve right and left to avoid the curves. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take the curves and I'm gonna get the run that I need and gap him. And then, yeah, making the move on the last corner, last lap is too. Like he would have known that he would have blocked the inside, and then it would have been like Jimmy Johnson and NASCAR all over again with the spin and everything. We would have crashed for sure, for sure. So
You
yeah.
you are a thinking man's race driver. That's very good. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I thought you took my breath away a couple times coming out of that final chicane. Man, you got close to the wall a few times.
Yeah, but I practiced it. I have a methods to not hit the wall there because I hit the wall so many times in practice yesterday that I got my own little tricks to get around this corner as wide as I can and being in control and not really having to worry about the wall and exit.
He definitely kept the sparks flying for the race. That was super entertaining to watch, and I'm sure all the fans and audience would agree. Rasim, as a new commentator, I haven't really watched your races, unfortunately. However, you do have 4 wins under your belt for the season.
Yep.
During your race, did any of that enter into your mind of saying, "Hey, I just want to hold back behind Hartley. He can't gain those points back. Should I just stay back and keep it clean and stay close if I can?"
No, the total opposite. The total opposite. The whole race I tried to break away. The whole race I tried to break away. Going from the start, he was third behind Marcelo because I overtook Marcelo. Because I had a run on him and we talked because we talked during the race and Marcelo told me, okay, go inside. And he tried to block him as much as he could, but then Hartley caught up to me. But yeah, it's a points are points. So if I can get 30 instead of 23, I'll take 30 any day. But yes, in order to get some points, you need to finish. So second place is good as well, and I'm looking forward to the next race in Montreal.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the top 3 and for not DNFing even with the contact. And I'll throw this right back to Sue.
Yep, thank you.
There you have our second place finisher, Rasim Fazui. And then our last driver we're going to talk to is a man who finished in third, which I thought was going to be a comfortable third. So we're talking about Brandon Hawken. Brandon, you have a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, when I look up here at the timing and scoring, I see that you're just a few tenths of a second ahead of O'Short. I thought you were comfortable by yourself. Did I miss something there that got you so close to losing that position?
Yeah, my fuel calculations, it was a little bit on the tight side, and yeah, I started running out of gas going into NASCAR 3. So I was just trying, I kept putting in 6, and I just tried to sputter across the line, but I ran completely out entering the final chicane. I was just able to roll across the line in front of 4th place there.
Yeah, I can see that by 2/10 of a second, and that's even closer than it really is when you're rolling at like half speed. That the 2/10 is even less than that. I was going to ask you coming into this for most of the race there, especially after the pit stop, you were just kind of on your own, which at a Roval is almost impossible to do to not have anybody to race with.
Yeah, that was tricky. I was hoping I'd have like somebody to draft off of, or like mistakes were made up front or something. But yeah, I just kind of ended up by myself, and yeah, just kind of driving, hoping for something to happen up front. I was getting a bit of pressure from behind though. I was getting caught a bit, but yeah, it was a pretty smooth sailing race after pit stops there.
Yeah, well, when you watch the replay, you'll see how close you were actually to winning this one, as the leaders did get together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this your car of choice, the MX-5? Is that your specialty car?
It's definitely one of them. I also really enjoy the Mustang and TCR. But yeah, I think the problem I have with the MX-5 is I overdrive it just a little bit. I need to kind of calm myself down, I think sometimes. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite cars to drive, and it's ton.
Well, look, you're a fun driver to watch. So here's what I want you to do: check the GSRC schedule and see if you can find a series that we're covering and join in that one because we'd like to see you more on the channel.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
Brandon Hawken, our third place finisher here today, and that's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But stick with us because we have a lot of people to thank. And if I can find the right part of the script, I will tell you who those people are. I'm going to start right now by thanking the companies that provide the. Oh no, here we want to start by thanking GTR Simulator, Sim Racing Studio, Turn Racing, and Minus 273 for sponsoring today's race action as well as the series. They are the title sponsor. Big C's. We would also like to thank series organizer Clifford Evan for finishing 10th today and for organizing what we see right here on this wonderful event. Now, thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware on our broadcast listed on the screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde. Hey, she provides the wonderful music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today. That would be Giancarlo and Sean. Of course, the cameras are done. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at the globalsimracingchannel.com. Let me try that again. No the. You can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Hey, we also have social media options. Twitter, GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit that big red button and become one of our subscribers so you don't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. The next race is going to be next week. It's not on my schedule, and it is Montreal, so find out what the date is today at 7. We'll be the same time, same place, and we'll be at Montreal. Oh, that'll be fun. We also have upcoming races of other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Hey, and don't forget, tonight in just a few hours, it's going to be the Lotus 49s on the flat oval at Milwaukee. Oh, that's the majors, baby. The U.S. edition. You do not want to miss that. So we'll be, Joe Peak is going to be calling all the action for that one. That's going to be a great show. With that said, I'm going to like to thank all of you for watching, as it was indeed Robert Hartley picking up the win here at Charlotte. We're going to have fun storming the castle. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.